Sometimes history isn't written in books, it's written on the battlefield. On September 16, 2025, Burkina Faso made history, and the world watched in awe. It was early in the morning, around 4 a.m. Near the border town of Conakry, Burkina Faso, a convoy of trucks moved silently in the darkness. Security forces immediately noticed something was wrong. So many trucks, moving together in the middle of the night, taking hidden back roads. This wasn't normal. Captain Musa Kabori quickly reported, "Sir, over 50 trucks are heading this way. This might be serious." The news reached President Ibrahim Traoré within minutes. Without hesitation, he ordered, "Stop the convoy, but proceed with caution. This is not an ordinary situation." Special forces were dispatched immediately. Drones and helicopters began aerial surveillance. The convoy was tracked, and as it neared the border, the road ahead was blocked. At exactly 4 a.m. the operation began. Soldiers surrounded the trucks. Some drivers tried to escape, but all were caught. When the first truck was opened, everyone's worst fears came true. The sacks on top read, "Humanitarian aid," but underneath were crates of weapons, AK-47 rifles, grenade launchers, rockets, ammunition, and explosives. Truck after truck revealed the same deadly cargo. This was no ordinary smuggling. The president was immediately informed. "Seal the area. Nothing must get out," he commanded. There were 57 trucks in total, each loaded with weapons. Interrogations began. Most drivers had no idea what they were transporting. They were told it was agricultural equipment to be sent to Togo. But investigations revealed the shocking truth. The intelligence team began tracing serial numbers on the weapons. Many were filed off, but partial numbers were recovered. Some weapons had origins in wars in Libya and Yemen. Others were brand new, never fired. The big question, who was this shipment for, and who funded it? The total value of the arsenal was over $700 million. President Traoré immediately called a National Security Council meeting. The inventory included 25,000 AK-47s, 10,000 M16 rifles, 13 million rounds of ammunition, 70,000 grenades, 2,500 rocket launchers, 400 anti-aircraft missiles, and 50 tons of explosives. The defense minister said, "Sir, with this firepower, a country could go to war." President Traoré remained calm and said, "This was an attempt to ignite chaos in Africa, but we stopped it before it could spread." The next day, raids began in the capital, Ouagadougou. Simultaneous operations were conducted at 23 locations. Weapons were discovered in 17 warehouses. Several businessmen, former ministers, and retired generals were arrested. During interrogations, one name stood out, François Bongo. Under pressure, he confessed. This was not just a local plot, it was part of a foreign-backed plan called Operation Restored Democracy. The goal was to remove President Traoré and install a pro-Western government. The president addressed the nation with 57 trucks of seized weapons displayed behind him. He said, "3 days ago, we intercepted the largest weapons smuggling operation in our country's history. But this wasn't just smuggling, it was an attempt to destroy our nation from within. Foreign powers thought they could control Africa. They were wrong. We are awake now." The message spread across the continent. Citizens gathered in the streets. The next day at Independence Square, millions witnessed a historic moment. President Traoré placed one of the seized rifles into a furnace. As it melted, the metal was poured into a mold and made into a school bell. "These weapons will now ring for children's education, not destruction," he said. The crowd erupted in cheers. "Long live Traoré!" He announced that the proceeds from melting the weapons would fund 100 new schools, 50 hospitals, and 1,000 kilometers of irrigation canals. "We are turning tools of death into tools of life," he declared. The United Nations, a historic moment for Africa. Meanwhile, the investigation continued. Data from seized laptops and phones revealed the plot extended beyond Burkina Faso. Plans were in place for Mali, Niger, and Guinea to overthrow governments and install Western-backed leaders. The budget for the operation was $1 billion. Money flowed from Europe and the Gulf. President Traoré addressed the international community saying, "This was an attack on Africa's spirit, but we will not bow." Some foreign governments protested the arrests of the involved foreign nationals, but he responded, "A diplomatic passport does not give permission to commit crimes." Russia, China, Turkey, and Iran publicly supported Burkina Faso, praising President Traoré's decisive actions. Western nations remained quiet. In court, all the accused were presented. The courtroom was packed. Charges included treason, terrorism, attempted coup, and illegal arms trafficking. Evidence was overwhelming. Many confessed, admitting greed and foreign pressure drove them to participate. Finally, President Traoré said, "We will not fear these weapons. We will melt them and educate our next generation." September 16th was declared National Awakening and Victory Day. Every school bell made from melted weapons would remind children that courage and unity can overcome any threat. Friends, if you enjoyed this story, make sure to like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more inspiring true stories. Share this video with your friends and family. And comment below. What part of this story inspired you the most? Remember, fear and challenges are everywhere. But if your determination is strong, if you stand for your country and your dreams, nothing can stop you. That is the true victory. Always remember, courage, unity, and truth can make any dream a reality.